how to get your LFM license as quick as possible. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy PrayersNunchuks, and I got my LFM license last night. So yeah, man, I want to tell you about it so that maybe it becomes easier when you do yours. Hopefully you can take something and learn something from this video. So yeah, man, how it went basically. So my LFM license testing was taking place in Brands Hatch, one of my worst enemies in terms of racing. I hate that track. I don't like that track, bro. I'm struggling on that track more than I'm struggling at the Notch Alive. But somehow, some way, I was able to do it. This is how. Right. So if you go on the website, you register obviously, and then they're gonna tell you what you need to do to get the license. So in my case, the testing was taking place in Brands Hatch, and then they wanted an average of 127 point something. Yeah. So what it means is you have to do 7 laps, 7 consistent laps, right, without invalidating. Let's say somehow, some way you're doing your 7 laps, and let's say maybe you're at lap 5 and you invalidate. What happens is your lap timer is set back to 0. So you're gonna have to start from the lap that you have invalidated. You're gonna have to start counting from the next lap. You don't necessarily have to go back to the pits or exit the server and come back in. And no, you can just continue driving from that point on. You just have to make sure that you're driving 7 consistent laps. Alhamdulillah. So you have to make sure that you're driving 7 consistent laps without invalidating the laps, you know, and then try to avoid crashing as much as possible. And you want to be like, for example, they said an average of 127. You have to at least make sure that you're hitting a low 127 consistently. So maybe 128 there and there, so that you know you can fall basically in the average range, and that's basically how you got your license. So in my case, I'm gonna show my runs, but then my story with Brands Hatch is like this, guys. So about 5 months ago, I started practicing Brands Hatch, and like I was doing it every day. So I would wake up, switch on the PC, Brands Hatch, practice, go on YouTube, check out tutorials and stuff like that. Brands Hatch, guys, Brands Hatch. So by so doing, I thought I would improve. No, I didn't improve at all. I was stuck doing 128. Yeah, and then it so happened that I lost electricity for like 2 weeks, and then when I came back, so after they restored my electricity, so when I came back, I was able to pull a 126 by some dumb luck. Well, it wasn't dumb luck. I was actually studying how to, you know, improve in terms of racing and stuff like that. During the time I didn't have electricity, so I was using my phone to basically study, right? And so I was able to do a 126. That was the first time I did the 126. And then second time I'm getting in the race, the same day that I came back, getting the race with McFam, I'm able to pull another 126, and I'm able to pull another 126, right? Sharp. I stopped playing the damn track. Fast forward to now, it's about 4 or 5 months now, right? 4 months later, since the time I stopped playing completely. I stopped completely playing Brands Hatch, right? I get to here, it's about 5 months, 4 months, yeah, 4 months now. So the LFM requires me to do, you know, that average of 127. Supposed to be a disaster. No, it wasn't. I don't know if it's how they set the track, or if it's basically the fact that maybe I'm improving. But what I know is it was very, very easy, because I was consistently hitting 126, and I did invalidate a couple of laps, right? And that's also because I was trying to push harder than I was supposed to, right? But no, it was easy. Like I did around 20 something laps, and then I was doing a lot of 126s. I did maybe 127 when I was about to invalidate the lap, and then I would like basically brake harder, and then I would, you know, shift down aggressively, so just so that, you know, I can keep the car on track so that I don't invalidate. And yeah, man, after basically you do your hostings and then you are done, you're 100% sure you did 7 consistent laps, you just exit. And then you have to wait for, I waited for like an hour and 30 minutes, right? And then I got the message that I got my NFM license. Basically that's how I went about it. So yeah, and then also in terms of improving on the track, guys, so I still don't understand even now if whether my improvement was due to the fact that I've been, you know, racing, or if it's because those guys from LFM made sure to make, you know, the qualifying thing easy, right? But I just know that it was easy. And then also, since we are here, I guess this is also the best time to mention that guys, I've upgraded again. I'm still not ready to make a video about my new steering wheel, this baby here, but I moved away from T150. As you can see, there's no any blue thing that's happening here. Well, there's this blue part. So I'm not ready to talk about my wheel just yet, but just know that even the pedals are very, very good pedals. I can be very consistent on them, and then, you know, I can throttle brake properly. So yeah, please watch the whole stint, and then hopefully you might be able to learn something from this. And yeah, leave a sub, I would appreciate that.
this lap so far. Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.